Hi, Mystery Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain a comedy action movie called The Man Who Wasn't There. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The movie opens as four men arrive in Washington, D.C. in an old, beat-up car. They stop by the roadside and two men dressed in suits get down from the back seat. These are U.S. Secret Service agents Riley and Colt, while the remaining two are goons who work for Tin Duik, a sociopathic murderer. Hiding in Colt's pocket is a steel ball that contains vials of a blue liquid. Whoever drinks this mysterious liquid can vanish into thin air without any trace. At the same time, a grand lunch is being held at a nearby hotel. Top diplomats from several nations around the world have gathered there at the invitation of the US government. The ambassador from Argentina also arrives, closely followed by the ambassador from the Palawan archipelago. But it quickly becomes clear that the diplomats from the major nations are being kept separate from the ones from small nations. Sam Cooper, a US State Department official, has been tasked with overlooking the guests from the small nations. Sam is getting married later that day to his longtime girlfriend Amanda. He hopes that everything goes smoothly under his watch so that he can hand the duty to his colleagues and leave. However, not only are the diplomats from the smaller nations being kept separately, but the service and food that are being served are also of lower quality. Meanwhile, the ambassador from Palawan Archipelago gets into an argument with another diplomat over the seating arrangements. Tensions begin to rise, and the entire lunch soon erupts into chaos. Plates are thrown, food is hurled, and several people get injured. As Sam desperately tries to get things under control, one of his colleagues tells him to leave immediately or he will be late for his marriage ceremony. Sam reluctantly proceeds to depart, but his boss, Michael Ensing, stops him in the lobby. He is then chastised for being unable to control the situation, and the boss even threatens to draft him to Greenland before finally allowing him to leave. On the other hand, the two US Secret Service enter a tall building nearby the hotel where the lunch is currently taking place. The building is the secret base of Tin Duik, who has already used the blue invisibility vial. While they are waiting for the elevator to arrive, Riley blindsides Colt and punches him. He then grabs the steel ball from his pocket and rushes out of the building, but Colt soon regains his wits and goes after his partner turned enemy. Following this, a chase ensues throughout the streets of Washington, D.C. The two goons who have been waiting in the car notice the commotion and quickly realize that Riley has betrayed them. Hence, they also go after him, but the secret agent manages to dodge all the pursuers. He then gets into a red pickup truck while Colt and the goons follow in their old car. Elsewhere, Sam's friend is driving him to the wedding venue as he's already late for the ceremony, but just as they approach a turnabout, the old car being driven by Colt rams into them, leaving Sam dazed by the roadside. Fortunately, one of the officials who works for the Russian embassy arrives at the spot and notices the crash. Sam explains that he is getting late for his marriage, and the Russian offers to drop him off. After several hours of delay, Sam finally arrives at the hotel where his wedding is to take place. His wife-to-be is extremely angry and refuses to believe his excuse. Why was anyone cool with him working on his wedding day in the first place? However, his friends get the situation under control and leave him alone in their hotel room so that he can clean up. A few minutes later, Sam sees a floating steel ball enter his room. A disembodied voice then orders him to close the door. Initially, Sam thinks that his friends are pranking him and pokes the air below the steel ball. To his utter surprise, he can feel a person's abdomen. The ball is being held by Riley, who has drunk the blue liquid and become invisible to evade his pursuers. But before the confused Sam can lock his door, Colt and the two goons barge in, knocking him unconscious in the process. Riley tries his best to evade them using his invisibility, but he is eventually caught and stabbed by one of the goons. As he drops to the floor, his body becomes visible, but it turns out he's just pretending to be dead. Riley then quietly rolls the steel ball under the sofa nearby. When the bad guys are unable to locate it, they quickly run away from the scene.
Did we get what we came for? No. Okay, let's go.
Shortly after, a wounded Riley awakens Sam and hands him the ball. He requests him to take it to someone named Runkleman. He then asks Sam to take the knives out of his back, but soon dies because of the wounds. Unfortunately for Sam, the police, his friends, and the bride barge into the room at that moment. They notice him holding the knives right beside a naked dead body and assume that he is the perpetrator. The cops then chase him for a while, but Sam eventually eventually manages to evade them. That following night, Colt and the two goons return to the secret hideout where an invisible Duik is reading a newspaper. It is revealed that the villain has been taking several doses of the invisible liquid to keep himself hidden. He wears a trench coat and a hat just so that his henchmen can make out where he is. With his supplies now running low, he wants the steel ball and a large amount of vials inside it. Meanwhile, the headline on the newspaper shows that a State Department aide named Sam Cooper is wanted for the murder of Secret Service agent Riley. It is now evident that Colt is a traitor to the US government and has been working for the criminal Duik. The trio then describes how Riley managed to run away with the vial and that they couldn't find it anywhere, but Duik isn't going to tolerate their incompetence, so he orders the goons to find Sam at any cost. He then grabs Colt and drops him from the top of the building as a punishment.
Now you're dead, and you can't help me.
The following day, Sam reaches out to Amanda's sister Ellie and asks for help. She reveals that her sister is so upset that she hasn't talked to anyone following her marriage day debacle. A tired Sam explains everything in detail, but Ellie refuses to believe his bizarre story. Thus, he takes out the steel ball that Riley had handed him before passing away. The two then open the ball and see 2 vials of a strange blue liquid inside. Impatient to know more, Sam puts a few drops of the liquid on a table and tastes it. This causes his body to slowly turn blue and vanish into thin air, much to Ellie's shock. At this moment, Duik's goons manage to track down Sam's potential whereabouts and reach Ellie's home. They see her talking to clothes that seem to be floating in midair. This makes them realize that it was indeed Sam who stole the steel ball. They begin firing at him, but Sam uses his quick thinking and takes off his clothes, except his underwear, becoming almost invisible. Even invisible, he's worried about his small package. He and Ellie then somehow get inside her car and flee from there. Following the close call, the duo goes to the all-girls school, where Ellie works as a teacher. She then leaves him in her office and goes to buy some clothes for him. Sam uses this opportunity to sneak into the girls' bathroom, but Ellie soon reprimands him. A few hours pass and the effect of the blue liquid wears off, making Sam visible once more. He wears the clothes that Ellie got for him, and the duo heads outside. Unfortunately, the Russian official from earlier, Boris, is hiding in the back seat of the car. As soon as the two get in, he points his weapon at them and demands the steel ball. Sam secretly throws it towards Ellie and lies that he doesn't have it. Surprisingly, the naive Boris believes him and doesn't investigate him any further.
Okay.
He simply asks Ellie to get out of the car and drives away with Sam. It turns out both the Russian as well as the US governments have the formula to make the blue liquid, but they have joined forces to destroy this invisible potion, as its use could be catastrophic for both nations. Soon after, Sam and Boris arrive at the US State Department for a meeting with Michael Ensing. It is revealed that both nations have signed a secret treaty to destroy every last vial of the invisible liquid, but things get complicated when Boris reports that Sam has consumed the liquid before. Anyone can now abduct him and study his blood sample to manufacture the liquid again. Michael then announces that Sam's body must be incinerated to avoid further complications. But before he can take action, the ambassadors of Palawan Archipelago, it's hard to say that, and Argentina arrive at the secretary's office with formal complaints about the dinner. Secretly behind them is Ellie, who is now completely invisible. She also has a small test tube in her hand filled with the liquid, which appears to be floating to everyone else. Sam realizes what's going on and immediately yells out to her. This prompts Ellie to throw the test tube towards him, and he quickly consumes it to become invisible. The two then manage to escape from the building unharmed. In the next scene, they head to one of Sam's close friends, Ted's apartment. They find the door locked, but Sam knows where the spare key is. They then get inside, and Ellie promptly goes to the bathroom to freshen up. Later that night, the two have a conversation about Sam's failed wedding and begin to bond. They eventually end up making out on the couch. What? Unaware that a bunch of old men have been watching them from the next building. After a few hours, Sam hears the sound of several cars arriving in front of the apartment. He realizes that his close friend has betrayed him and relayed the information to the US as well as Russian agencies. However, he and Ellie rush out of the apartment with the steel ball and sneak to the basement through the emergency staircase. Outside the building, they run into the group of old men who were stalking them earlier. It is obvious that they are smitten by Ellie, and she uses this opportunity to borrow their car car. Later, Sam compiles a list of everyone named Runkleman and narrows it down to the final 9 people. There were 9 people? Before his death, Agent Riley had asked him to take the steel ball to someone named Runkleman. Hence, he and Ellie go to the addresses of each possible candidate and try to find out if they know anything about Riley. After checking off the first 8 candidates from their list, they travel to the last one, who lives by the city's dockyard. This turns out to be the Runkleman they are looking for. But when they enter the house, they are shocked to find Ted inside. It is then revealed that Ted is a secret FBI agent who has been monitoring the case about the invisible liquid. The night when Riley died, he was actually trying to get to Ted, not Sam. As the trio is engaged in conversation, Runkleman's landline begins to ring. Sam cautiously picks it up and finds Duke on the other end. The sociopath reveals that he has abducted Amanda and threatens to kill her if Sam doesn't arrive at the Capitol Hill building with the steel ball. With no other options, Sam pushes Ted aside and runs away to a nearby boat with Ellie. In the next scene, the duo arrives at Capitol Hill and are quickly taken hostage by Duke's goons. Inside, they finally meet the invisible villain, who reveals that he had already killed Runkleman a long time ago. He was simply using Sam and the Secret Service to get the steel ball delivered to Runkleman's house, from which he could have it picked up without being detected. Seconds later, the effects of the liquid begin to wane, and Duke slowly becomes visible. In a shocking twist, it is revealed that the murderous villain is none other than Amanda. She had actually been using an instrument to deepen her voice like a man's. Amanda never loved Sam and was simply using him for her plan. Convenient that she happens to be evil, given that Sam just cheated on her. Just then, Boris and Ted arrive at the Capitol and eliminate all the goons one after another. This worries Amanda, so she snatches the steel ball from Sam and chugs down a vial of the blue liquid. Now invisible once more, she strips down and runs away from there, laughing maniacally. But Sam, Boris, and Ted manage to corner her in the room where old US currencies are incinerated. At this point, Amanda fully loses her mind due to the sustained use of the liquid. She realizes that there's no escaping, so she climbs onto a conveyor belt and jumps into the fire, unaliving herself. Sam and Ellie are devastated by her demise, but Ted and Boris breathe a sigh of relief. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.